What is love? Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me in my What is Love project. 30 days exploring what is not, and whatever is love. Day 15. Yesterday. Do you love all of your yesterdays? While making these What is Love videos, I noticed that several times I started the video by saying, yesterday I learned something, yesterday I realized something. I love those yesterdays because I learned something. But then there are some yesterdays that I don't like so much. For example, when I felt that I have failed something horribly, feeling embarrassed, when I was ashamed of myself. And whenever I remember those yesterdays, I feel heavy. And so, of course, I want to move on from those yesterdays as quick as possible. Do you find it easy to move on from all those yesterdays that you don't like so much? Are you able to always live in the present moment with joy and peace in your heart? I don't. But I think we do move on. We all want to move on. And there is not much choice because we can't live in yesterdays. Tomorrow comes and we need to get on with our life. We have to go to work. We have to go to school. We have to function. And soon, perhaps, all those yesterdays that we don't quite like, we can forget them, bury them, never to think about them again. But then I came to an understanding that although our minds, our brains have moved on, maybe we already have learned something, maybe we learned from our mistakes, maybe we have learned from a situation what to do from now on, there are still perhaps some emotions remain in our bodies. And maybe this is not true for you. I know this is true for me. And while trying not to feel them, I know that sometimes I suppress them. I make sure that they become very small so that I don't feel them. But then some days I observe that when everything is going well, I might feel heavy without any reason. And I came to realize that those are the suppressed emotions that I have kept inside unknowingly. And those suppressed emotions, because they're now so compact, they are heavy. And I like to call these heavy energies. And through my healing work, I know that these heavy energies could be the root cause of many illnesses. And so it's better to have no heavy energies at all. And so what to do? I think there are many ways to do the same thing, and maybe you already know very, very good way to help yourself from leaving these heavy energy or heavy emotions behind. But I would like to share with you one simple way that I do sometimes. I will first of all say that this way I use is not like an ultimate one-size-fits-all solution. And often it also depends on what kind of emotions that we have buried inside, what kind of situations that you had to deal with in the past. And I would say that this simple way is a start to let these heavy energies come to the surface. And so I think it's very important to be gentle with ourselves when we bring up these heavy energies, because as they come up to the surface, for us to look at them one more time, we might feel everything. And if we were to ask all the heavy energies to come up to the surface, I think it is probably too much for most people to handle. So please be gentle. So what I do is because I don't know, I'll just say we, maybe it doesn't apply to you. Okay, so when we suppress all these feelings to become these heavy chunks, they become very dense. They're buried like deep inside. So it's very simple. I give them space. And how do we give them space? I actually don't know. I give this intention. I will just say to myself, I don't know, maybe at this moment you can feel some heavy energy somewhere within your body, and maybe not. Usually I do this when I feel something coming up. I will feel somewhere in my body. And you could also, if you just know that there is something inside, you can also say, okay, I'm taking the time now to look at you. So I would like now to give some space to this heavy energy. And I'll give an intention that this process be as gentle as possible. And please only a small chunk of heavy energy come up, a size that I can easily manage at this present moment. So once when I give this intention, I often could feel perhaps, let's say I was feeling something right here, it was like very intense. I could feel that it started coming up as if they become less intense, but then the surface area might become bigger because it's like they just come up. They have the space. And sometimes this heavy energy will just go away automatically, maybe through my breath, maybe when I yawn, maybe I will start crying. And in this case, it's great. And perhaps because I already have learned something, I forgot to let this energy out. So now they can go when I no longer suppress them. And sometimes I might like to just stretch out my arms, because when we do this kind of movement, our chest, or even maybe the whole body, the heavy energies can be anywhere in the body. So automatically, sometimes I just feel an urge to stretch myself, or maybe to move around, and I allow my body to tell me what I can do. And I would just go and do those stretches or walking around a bit. And if sometimes when there are a memory coming up, I would simply ask the question, what is it that I can learn from this? And perhaps a person come to my mind. I will ask, What can I learn from this person? And of course, you can ask many other questions. But usually I found that when I just ask one simple question, my mind is not that busy, and the answer will come. And the answer will also come easily when I don't think about it. I don't actively want to have an answer right now. I will allow it to come. Now, we all have this inner knowing. It's somewhere deep within us. And this inner knowing will let us know it is part of ourselves. And when we give that moment to quiet down, to relax, and when we ask a question, this inner knowing will let us know the answer or whatever we need to know so that we can move on. Move on with ease, move on lightly without all these heavy energies. So it's very simple, I would say, but please remember to always give the intention that, yes, give the space for the heavy energy to come up, but give the intention that the process be as gentle as possible. And please, just say please, only a small chunk will come up now, a size that I can handle easily at this present moment. And of course, when if we come to understand that there is something we can learn from, we do need time to process it. And so I say, do a little at a time, and we can always look at it, maybe not every day, maybe every other day. Now and then we give it like 5 minutes, sometimes maybe a bit longer. But I will ask you to not overdo it in a very short amount of time. I have overdone it myself. So I know to say to you that it's not a good thing. And I'm not saying that you can't handle. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we do have a real physical life. We do have to feed ourselves. We do have to function in different way. And when we are gentle with ourselves, when we take these small little steps and do it often, these little things add up, and we can become lighter and lighter every day while enjoy our daily life more and more. So so this is simple. Give the intention and then allow yourself to do, your body to tell you what to do. And even if you want to make some sound like it happens quite often, so allow yourself to do it. But another thing, if there is something that I didn't explain clear enough, please put a question to the comment. I'll see if I can answer you, or maybe we can think about it together. And there's one other thing that I would like to, everyone should be mindful. There are some yesterdays, there are some events that happened in one of these yesterdays that are simply too horrible for anyone to look at it. And I guess that's why we try so hard to forget. And if you have one of these very horrible yesterdays, please consider having someone with you when you look at them. When you look at what happened, or look at your emotions, or whatever it is. Because if it's too much, I think our instinct is to bury it deeper. And but then it can just get buried, and it might make us sick. It might eventually make us not able to function or not able to enjoy our lives. So please consider having someone with you, and make sure this someone, maybe a friend, is a very compassionate and loving person who's going to listen without judgment. And you might consider getting professional help. And remember, especially if you were a victim of a crime, no matter how small you think, please, I met many people who would say that this happened to me. They were victims. They were abused, they were raped, they were different scenario, and then they would say that it wasn't so bad because it wasn't like these other people. And I would like to say that it was bad enough because it happened to you. So please consider having someone to talk to, maybe get professional help. And right now I would like to also bring up the idea of support group. I didn't think much of support group, and then I accidentally got into a support group because I was kind of like a guinea pig for my friend's whole project. And my friend and colleague Malka Ahern, and also she worked with Violeta Stoica. They have this support group online. I participated for about a year on and off. I find it helped me a lot, and I came to find that it's a very good thing a good way to find help, because with different people sharing their ups and downs, it has this effect of everyone get to understand more, I would say. And also I have witnessed one of the group member. She was very carefree. I got to know her a bit, and then one session she said to the group she felt safe and she would like to talk about a sad event that happened to her over 20 years ago. She never talked to anyone about it because she always thought that it was all her fault. And while she told the story, she broke down, cried, and then Mocha and Violeta assisted her to bring her back up, and then all the group member gave her a lot of support, and her feedback was that she found that help was more powerful than she even imagined. So that's why I put the link to Mocha and Violeta's support group in the description box, and maybe if you're looking for support group, you can have a look. They have a free trial if you email them. I also would like to say that I do not get any reward like money or exchange whenever I mention someone, their service or their job. I mention it just because I know from my own experience that they are doing very good job, and I would like to talk about them. And you might like to just look at them as a way to start your research, where to find good support. So yes, it got a bit heavy. But I think it's true. There's some of these yesterdays they can be quite heavy, but have courage. Look at them. Look at them. And when we manage to love all of our yesterdays, or maybe most of our yesterdays, I think we will find every of our today be more joyful and light. Thank you very much for joining me today. See you tomorrow.